La, 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 la. Hey, this is a song for my haters. Yeah, you got me feeling like the greatest, yeah.
Your boy Dex Ocean, sportsbully.com. Going to see my main man Larry Johnson right now, so follow your boy.
You got me feeling like the greatest, yeah.
What's good, B?
That's good.
Hey man, Larry Johnson, man, NFL running back, rushed for 1,700 yards 2 years in a row, right? What did that mean to you?
I don't say it mean a lot because it was crazy at the time that was going on that I really didn't have any backups. Everybody was hurt, so I had to grind it out. And then at the same time, it was a contract year where I had to prove myself too and not get hurt. So it was kind of crazy. And the last time I went, 1,700, I ended up breaking the 416 carry mark, which
Yeah,
is
I remember that
something
one.
no one except Jamal Anderson has done way back in like the early 90s. So it's crazy to be able to still keep moving after so long, after all those carries.
Your father played in the NFL. What was it like growing up as a son of an NFL player?
It was fun, but at the same time, I didn't have any summers where I get to go to the pool, or summers I used to go chase girls, or summers where I could go to dances or clubs, or to go chill and hang out. Like I was always in football camp, so from the age of 9 to the age of 18 before I went to college, I was always in football camps, and so that's where my summers were dedicated, and that's all I really knew at that time was football. So that's what it was a cool opportunity because I met so many guys and kids that end up growing up with me, and they're in the league now that I'm in the camp with.
You also played for another legendary coach in Joe Paterno. What influence did they have on you?
I would say the players had a little bit more influence on me than actual coaches. I was around Curtis Enos and Ki-Jana Connor, Courtney Brown, number one pick, LeVar Arrington, number one pick, and those guys really mentored and tutored me as soon as I was there, and it was fun to be around those guys. But it was always an honor to play for a legendary coach that's still playing, and he's coached numerous all-stars. So it's always been a great privilege to be in that situation because I made the best of it and don't regret it.
What do you think about the recent rule changes, such as the kickoff from the 35-yard line?
To me, it don't make any sense or any difference. Now you're gonna get a lot of guys out. It's gonna be a shorter in the field. So now you're looking at high score games. You're looking at not as as far as rushing yards and passing yards. Everybody who's into fantasy, you're gonna be putting the points up, but the yardage may not be there because you work on. Sometimes you may work with just a shorter version of the field. So guys, if you're getting 30 guys, 35-yard line, it's gonna go to the 40 to the 50 most of the time. Like it's just the way it is. Like it's gonna be hard to to back them up to the 10 and 20 like you used to, and so that's gonna be the difficult part. It's just the numbers are gonna be kind of off a little bit, but the score is gonna be real high.
What are your thoughts on the current NFL's lockout?
That's crazy. It's just like they say, nothing's greedier than greed. So it's just a tough situation. Like both sides are kind of trying to figure out what's in the best interest of the players, because nowadays you 40 and 50, you in a wheelchair, or you suffering from dementia, or all these crazy things that some of the older players are suffering from now. We need that in our insurance, and we need that 10 years away from the game, that when we're not going to be able to go into JP Morgan and say, hey, I want to be an accountant. Some of us won't even be able to walk by the time we turn 40. So it's most important for us to really understand what we're really fighting for. We're not really fighting to get the most contract money or the most times that we can go to the bank and cash our stuff and to buy Rolls Royces. We really trying to do this because most of us, we take care of our whole generations of families with this money. So it's definitely important to make sure that we get our share. I think it's gonna be football next year, just because the owners now they got caught with their pants down with that money that they try to stock up and hide, like any other person who's into the Wall Street type of business. That if a crash is going to come, what do? You stockpile all your money up and wait till the end fall out, and then have the people that's working the jobs get fired or get laid off. So that's kind of how it works. But it's going to be football because there's too much money to be made for this business to automatically crash and not be football for a whole year. I just can't see it.
Every time you scored the touchdown, you always throw at the Roc sign. Can you explain how you got signed to Team Roc?
I kind of like fell into it, I mean, they had Magic Show out in Vegas, and Dame Dash at that time wanted to start a new athletic apparel line called Team Roc, which was me, Jonathan Vilma, and a couple other boxers that he was going to, open it up with. And being that, I was repping so heavy, at that time that I got signed with them, and then I got signed to do Rocawear too, and it really wasn't supposed to happen that way. Of course, when Dame and Jay split,
right?
It was like who's gonna go with who. So I ended up not knowingly, but I got put under the wing of Jay, and then I started doing the Rocawear shoots. And the more times I was in the Rocawear shoots and around Jay and around everybody else, in that clique, that I became real good friends with everyone. So it's been, I would say, about 4 or 5 years I've been knowing them and kind of growing with them, but it's still at the same time knowing it started to go way past the just putting on the chain and throwing up the Roc sign. I became family after that. So it was, I'm in town, I go over and watch basketball games, and go and watch college football games. So it's been on some real friendship tip rather than just business and what we're gonna do for each other.
Aside from football, I know you can play drums, I know you can play the guitar. I was in your crib when you were going ham on the drums one day, so I know you can DJ. How did you get started in music?
When I was used to going to clubs in Vegas and going to clubs all around different cities, and sometimes not kind of liking the way they played the music, or they weren't really playing the hits, or they would play something else that was too old for everybody else to know. So it was kind of funny that I ended up getting more and more into music as more and more times I went out. And everybody know that, in Miami, when I come down here and I start liking music, them gold bottles start flying. Them gold bottles start flying.
Right here. I mean, I know you keep them,
But it's, I started liking music, when I was a child. So, my parents always played music. So it was even better for me if I was able to go to a club and getting paid and to have fun. At first, I wasn't horrible, but I just didn't know how to mix songs or make them blend or what to go, as far as beats per minute. I didn't really match them up. I was just going off the top of my head what I thought that people wanted to hear. And so as I hung out with more and more DJs and watched how they, mix songs and stuff, so I started getting a lot better than I am 2 years ago. This is like a drastic change from where I wasn't before. Before I was just, put a record on, cut, put a record on, cut. Now it's just, everything's kind of smooth, as far as when I'm DJing.
Like, what type of music you like to listen to?
For me, I always listen to Pac when I work out because, nobody gets you fired up like Pac. And that's all I always listen to. A majority of my songs is all Tupac songs because it's just, his energy that, when he raps and stuff like that, it gets you hyped. I can't really listen to it. Some guys I know listen to like the old school South where it's real slowed down. Like, how do you get hype off that? Like, it's hard for me to get hype off something that's all chopped and screwed, but, everybody got their own taste.
Would you say Tupac is your favorite artist, or you have another favorite artist?
I mean, it's crazy. See, none of my favorite artists are rappers. You know what I'm saying? My favorite artists are like Shy Lights and The Intruders and the Moments. Like, my joints is old school 60s and 70s.
So that's like a little bit before my time.
That's way before your time. So it's for me, that's what my parents grew me up on. Like Luther Vandross. Like, those are my favorite artists. Isley Brothers are my favorite artists. Only because my parents wouldn't let me listen to rap. So I had to get out the house. That's when I started sneaking and listening to rap. So I grew up on all soul music.
What do you think about Rocnation's new artist, J.Cole?
I like that whole lineup that Rocnation has, and I've seen a lot of them and met a lot of the artists that Rocnation has now. I like J.Cole. I mean, I'm tired of people saying he looks like a skinnier version of me, but but I like his flow. It kind of does remind me of Jay, back in the early 90s. So it's good to see him kind of come through like that and not take the same route that everybody else took. So.
What do you think about Wale?
I love Wale. I was extremely excited when I heard he signed with Rick Ross's label because I felt that he had a lot more to say than just doing the songs with Lady Gaga and doing it with Chrisette Michelle. I just thought that he could be a little bit more influential as far as what he could do down here. And if he can connect down here and then bring it back up to DC, it's lovely because he has a nice flow.
Do you have a passion for art?
Yeah, I like to pen. Now I'm gonna get more into it. Like it's more as far as photography and that's what I really want to get into when I get a chance to go back to school. I'm really gonna go ham for that. So I'm really gonna end up painting and doing all types of different other stuff. Like I got a lane that I'm working with that I don't want to blow it up because it's supposed to be top secret. I'm not gonna be using my name or nothing. So it's gonna be something that's straight off my ideas that I'm giving to somebody and have them run with it. So it's gonna be fun. If the football thing don't work out, I'm always gonna be good because more and more more and more you do as far as your hustle, and you're just gonna be chilling and working on my art and kind of wait in the shadows and still work out and just hoping that this whole lockout thing is over and resolved with, so I can get back on that field and see what team I can try to get 2 or 3 more years out of.
Hopefully you get down to Miami, man. You got family down here.
You never know.
You got family here.
You never know.
Dex Ocean, Larry Johnson, it's a wrap.
It's your boy LJ and I'm logged on to sportsbully.com. Broad Street Buddy. Would you just call yourself Creative Rec Dex?
Nah. You gotta be hating on my Rex, man. For real, dog. This be hating on my Rex, for real. Hey, make sure y'all get this, man, because he is going to lead the drum line after this, so, yeah.